Welcome, friends from around the world. I believe we are live now. This is Mari Smith coming to you live from gorgeous sunny San Diego. And with me is the amazing Guy Kawasaki. He is the chief evangelist for Canva. Hey, Guy. Let me just head in here. Good to be with you again.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Thank you. I got my turquoise logo on.
I love it. I love it. Guy is flying the turquoise flag. And also with us is Peg Fitzpatrick, and she is head of social media at Canva. Hey, Peg, good to have you here.
Hello, Mari.
Greetings. Yes, awesome. So, and as sure many folks know, Guy is really quite an enigma. He's written many books. He's very beloved by the online and offline world. And one of my favorite books of Guy's is Enchantment. I'm very honored to have written a piece, a section, a chapter for Guy's book, and also he wrote the foreword for my new relationship marketing book. Thank you so much for that, Guy. Appreciate it mucho. And in fact, 2 years ago, Guy and I created a course together, a social media course called Social Midas. Because do you remember what you said, Guy? You said that everything that's gold, Guy touches.
That's right. I also remember we almost were killed by a light that day.
Oh, yeah. That's right. We had a light crash down in the studio. That was hilarious.
That would have been great.
Oh, yeah, great.
I actually attended that webinar.
Did you, Peg? Yeah.
It was awesome.
It was fun. It was good fun. It was in a studio here in San Diego. Well, right now, all three of us are in 3 different locations. I'm in San Diego. Guy, you're in San Francisco?
I'm in my home in Silicon Valley, yes.
Okay. And Peg?
I'm in the social media mecca of New Hampshire.
Got it.
I'm making that a thing.
Peg has more followers than New Hampshire has people.
Not yet, but maybe someday.
You guys are funny. So anyway, welcome everybody from around the world. We are streaming live through the Google Hangout technology. We're also streaming through the app called 22 Social. That's just 22, the number 22 Social. And you are probably, quite possibly, watching this stream on either my Facebook page or Guy's Facebook page. And you can just go to 22s.com/Mari Smith. I think yours is probably 22s.com/Guy. Is that the username they give you?
I didn't even know I had a Facebook account. So.
Yes, guys, run a Facebook page.
22 Social part, Peg, right? Yeah. You guys are funny. So, in any case, what we're going to do here, folks, is that you're more than welcome to tweet nuggets with the hashtag Canva webinar, because Guy and Peg are going to be sharing quite a bit of beautiful nuggets on how you can really make some stunning visual graphics. Visual content is absolutely the way to go in social media. It's all about creating eye-catching content, visual content that makes the viewer want to inspire them to share it with all their friends, fans, followers, and inspires them to take action, to sign up for your list, to ultimately be a follower of your brand, and to be a customer of your brand or business. So what I'm going to do is hand the controls over to Guy. He's going to share his desktop. He has some slides he's going to go through. You'll be able to see them live on our desktop here. And he is going to share them. Peg and Guy very generously agreed to put these slides up on SlideShare. So with that, I'm going to hop over to Guy, and I see he's got SlideShare up. And you're going to go. There you go. Off you go. I'm going to mute myself for a little bit, but I'm right here.
Okay. Can I just verify that everybody sees my desktop and it says the art of the perfect post?
Absolutely, I see it. Yeah. Perfect. Mm-hmm.
Man, it is only like 6 after 10 and the technology is all set. This is a new record. Oh my God! Like Vic Gandolfo is doing backflips someplace wherever he is. So
I'm bringing the good juju today.
Yeah. So my name is Guy Kawasaki, and I'm the Chief Evangelist of Canva, and I'm here with Peg Fitzpatrick, who's Head of Social Strategy. These are our email addresses in case you want to follow up with us later. We have a very, let's say, subtle presentation today. All we're going to do is teach you the art of the perfect post. You know, nothing too ambitious, and we're going to use kind of a top 10 format. That's because Peg and I have seen so many tech speakers, and what we notice about them, other than Mari, of course, is that pretty much every tech speaker sucks and go long. So we decided that that's a bad combination. If you suck and go short, it's okay, and if you are great and go long, it's okay. But if you suck and go long, that's like being stupid and arrogant, right? And so what we do is we use the top 10 format. So you know there are exactly 10 points today. The genesis of this presentation is the fact that Peg and I are basically s'mores, we call ourselves, which is a social media whore. We just love social media. We have like 5 different accounts, and we have I think a very unusual approach to social media. We're blatantly honest about what we do. We use social media as a marketing platform, both as a marketing platform for our personal brands as well as for the company that we now work for, Canva. And so we kind of push social media to the far edges of what can be done. I'm speaking for myself when I say that, I have a wife, I have 4 children, 2 dogs, 2 turtles, 1 rabbit, 1 chicken, I'm counting here, 3 guinea pigs. So in other words, I have all the friends that I need. I'm not on social media for friends. This is a marketing platform for us, so we take this very, very seriously. Okay, so with that introduction, we're going to give you 10 key points of the perfect post. I'm going to do the first 4 or 5, and then I'm going to turn it over to Peg to do the last 5. And off we go, okay? Ready? Okay.
Perfect.
So, number 1, I think maybe the most important sort of philosophical framework for posting on social media is every time you click send or you click post or whatever your social media service is, you have to say to yourself, what I'm doing, will it pass the reshare test? Which is, am I sending something out that is so interesting, so informative, so entertaining, so analytical, that other people will see what I've done and share it to their friends and their followers? And if every one of your posts pass the reshare test, I think that's just about 90% of the perfect post. This is a slide that shows Google Plus ripples, and Google Plus happens to have this very neat feature where it shows when you post who the other people are who have reshared your post, just the public ones, not the private ones. So in this case, you can see a bunch of little circles who have reshared this post, as well as James and I don't know how you pronounce his name, Fuad and Brian Guest. So I think this is a very important kind of concept that when you share something, you want it to be reshared, and you want it to look like this, that lots of people have done it. If you look at the bottom part of this, you'll also see that this has been reshared pretty steadily over time. It's not like there's this big leap at the front end and it just drops to 0. This has been going on for quite a while. So this is the key, that you want your shares to look like this. So step 1 is to get the right philosophy. Everything you post should pass the reshare test. Step 2 is, well, what makes something pass the reshare test? And I think it's very simple. You need to be valuable. You need to send stuff out that's either information, what just happened, analysis, what does it mean that this happened, assistance, how to avoid a bad thing, how to have a good thing, or entertainment, just slapstick funny stuff. And so these are the 4 main qualities that make any post valuable. So as you're crafting your post, ask yourself, am I informing people? Am I providing analysis? Am I helping people? Or am I entertaining people? Because if you're not doing one of those 4 things, it's unlikely you'll be valuable, or your post will be valuable. It's unlikely to be reshared. You flunked the reshare tests, and you're clueless, basically. So information, analysis, assistance, or entertainment. Now, the NPR logo is down there at the bottom for a more metaphorical reason. So I like to wrap this in what I call the NPR model. And the NPR model works like this, that NPR, in my humble opinion, provides great content 365 days a year. There's Wait, Wait, Don't Tell Me, there's This American Life, there's Tech Nation, Fresh Air. I love NPR. I listen to NPR every single day. And every once in a while, NPR runs the NPR telethon. And the nature of the telethon is it interrupts the programming, and nobody likes to listen to the telethon, but I believe that people tolerate the telethon, and they even participate in the telethon because people feel a sense of obligation, reciprocation, and gratitude that, for crying out loud, NPR has been curating this great content all year long. The least I can do is tolerate their telethon, or at least, or perhaps, donate through the telethon. So you need to think like NPR, always providing something valuable, so that, in fact, you can then, at some point, maybe 1 out of 20 posts, you can promote your product, your service, your brand, your company, whatever it is. So if you look at the ratio of telethons to content for NPR, I don't even know if it's 5%. It's very low. So keep that in mind. You're providing great content all the time so that you earn the right to promote your stuff. This is an example from the Canva blog. On this Canva blog, Zach from Canva wrote a story, or an analysis of a complete guide to PR. And this was an extremely popular post. And I cite this as an example of, this is where a case where you're providing information and everybody will reshare it 85 times at this point when I took this screenshot, because it is so informative. So be valuable. The third thing is to be bold. Being bold means that you should feel free to express your opinions. Now, it's tricky if you're representing a corporate brand, but for people who are consultants and independent workers, people who are trying to make a personal brand on social media, I think you should absolutely be bold. I would push this even for brands, but I understand there's a lot of issues with a brand doing this. But for a person, be bold. Express your thoughts about women's rights, about gun control. This is one of the posts that I made up about gun research. When I do something like this, there's a lot of comments, not all positive, many negative, but this is an issue that's important to me, that I think that we should do research about guns. And if you feel this way about guns or women's rights or education or adoption or whatever it is, the environment, does global warming exist, does it not exist, whatever it is, be bold. Take a stand. That's what makes people interesting on social media. Next thing is to be brief. These are some guidelines for the optimal kind of post. 50-character headline, 3-sentence body. Always use the active voice. The active voice meaning, it's one thing to say a new iPhone was introduced by Apple today. I think it's much stronger to say Apple introduced a new iPhone today. And this kind of brevity, I think, is the key, that many people think that social media is a replacement for blogging, and it really isn't. Peg will address this later. So 50-character headline, 3-sentence body. If you did a 50-character headline and 3-sentence body, obviously that's more than 140 characters for Twitter. So we're talking mostly about Facebook, Google+, LinkedIn here. Tweets obviously should be less than 140 characters, actually far less than 140 characters, because if people are going to retweet your tweet, they need space to put their comments into. But I can't emphasize enough the necessity to be brief with your posts. This is an example from my Facebook page. And as you can see, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 words there, plus the link. So this is a very good example of a very brief post, just a headline with the link, but a big, eye-catching pictures. And we'll get into this adding drama with pictures later, but this is an example of my typical kind of posts. Next concept is to always credit your source. Peg and I are big believers in karma, that somehow when you find great content via somebody else's post or via a tip or something like that, you should always credit your source. It's good on many levels. One is obviously at the highest level, at the karmic level, but I also think that when people see that you've reshared their posts, it is a bridge to other people. It helps you establish a relationship with other people. It's just good all around. This is an example from Rebecca's Google Plus page, where she gave a hat tip to Matthew Rappaport for originally finding this great article. This is typical. So put that H/T for hat tip, Sometimes Peggy puts tiara tip, not to be, solely saying that only men should get a tip. So give a tiara tip or a hat tip to people. Cite your sources. Good karma, better engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll turn this over now to Peggy. So Peggy is going to take the ad drama.
Mary, did you want to add something?
Oh, I just was laughing at the tiara tip, but that's right up my alley.
Yeah, definitely. You can add a tiara anywhere. So speaking of tiaras, we're going on to add drama. So with drama, what we're talking about is adding a photo or an image that will help tell your visual story and create more activity on each of your posts. Text only isn't going to grab attention on every platform. Facebook, you can do a text-only post. Sometimes that does sneak through and get a little more edge rank, but if you only posted text-only updates on Facebook, your page would definitely not do very well. So you can mix in a text only on Facebook, but like I would say 98% of the time, Guy and I recommend adding an image to your post. That even includes Twitter now, with Twitter images grabbing a lot more retweets and favorites. And also you can embed links from posts, but those pull in a very small photo, which we'll get to in a little bit. So what you want to do is create a great image to share for each post, whether it's your blog post or someone else's. If you find a post that you really like and there is not a good image, create one or find one so you have something that matches the content that you're sharing, kind of represents your brand, and looks great. And now we'll go to the next slide. So size matters a lot in social media. You want to make sure that you're using the proper size for each photo. And so we did a little chart for you here. Instagram is 1-to-1 ratio, so we recommend 640 by 640 pixels. Pinterest is a really long, tall image, and that's 735 by 1100. That size also works really great on Google+. It will go on Facebook, but it does not fill the whole news feed properly. So I use that big size image for Pinterest and Google+. Facebook news feed has updated to 940 by 788. That gives you the full news feed width, and it looks great on your Facebook page. Google+, if you want to do an image that looks perfect on desktop and on mobile, you can do 800 by 600. That will remain exactly the same. And on Twitter, you can do an image that's 1024 by 512 and attach that to your tweet. It does take up a few more characters, but it's worth it for the amount of interaction that your posts get. So if you're sharing something special, like the webinar that we did, we shared a lot of tweets with images because then people really notice it and share it. So this is an example of a post actually that Guy found that he wanted to share, and the image is kind of boring. It was a tax day picture. It's a guy staring at some pennies. So this could be an example of something where you could embed the link, but it's just not that eye-catching. This is an example of what it looks like when it's actually embedded in Google+. It does little wavy lines along the bottom of the image, and it's pretty small. That's not very interesting. And the next slide shows what it looks like on mobile. It switches to a teeny little postage stamp. So even if you had a pretty good image, when you embed it, that gives you a very small postage size image that isn't very eye-catching on mobile especially. So this is an example of taking that same exact post but creating a custom graphic. Actually, I created this one in Canva. It took me less than 5 minutes. It's a nice bright red. You can see that it says tax day freebies because that's what the whole article was about. Like, it's tax day. We know you're sending all your money to the government. Go get a free coffee somewhere because, so it was a timely post. You want people to see the text in the newsfeed. That is what the full posts look like on the desktop. Excuse me. And this is what it looks like on the mobile. If you notice, the image is very large. It's not a little postage stamp. So taking the time to create your image and sharing it gives you that really nice big view on mobile, which is a really large percentage of people view social media only on their phones, whether it's Facebook, Pinterest, Google+. People just like looking at things on their phone while they're on the go. So this post would definitely probably be reshared and commented on right on someone's phone. So the next step is to embrace hashtags, which is, you know, very important through all of social media. Today we have a hashtag Canva webinar. So if you want to take a second and tweet something saying, I am loving this Canva webinar with Mari and Guy, you go ahead and do that while I'm talking. I totally appreciate it if you would. The reason that we use hashtags is because it ties content together. So on Twitter, when somebody tweets Canva webinar with a hashtag in front of it, it actually is clickable. So if you click on that link, it gives you a full stream of content where everybody that's talking about this exact event live can see what other people are saying. You can meet new people that way. You can find things to retweet that way. It's just a really great way to tie your content together. And that's how things trend on Twitter and Google Plus, is with hashtags, using them. So you can create your own hashtag like we did for Canva webinar, or you could follow another one. This is an example of a Google Plus post where somebody used the hashtag brand and SMM. The SMM hashtag to me is a little bit vague. I wouldn't necessarily use that one myself. I do use social media tips a lot, especially on Twitter, because that's a very popular hashtag. So that's a good one to use. I also use the hashtag pin of the day is one that I particularly like to use when I share my most important post of the day on Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, or Google+. It's used everywhere now. I started using it about a year ago, and now you see it everywhere. If you click on Pin of the Day, big brands like HDTV use it, Pinterest uses it. So it's a great way to connect your content with other people's. One funny thing is that you need to make sure that you check your hashtag before you use it. When Guy and I did an event in South America, we picked, was it Moto X? What did we pick for? We picked Moto X because we were working with Motorola, and people were very disappointed when they clicked on our hashtag stream because it was already being used for motocross bikes. So you want to make sure that your content is separate. You can also register your hashtag on Twubs, which is not really an official Twitter or any social media site, but you can kind of stake your claim, if you will, on a hashtag to make sure that it's not being used. But you can do a simple search yourself just on Twitter to see if it's already in use. You wouldn't want your content to go in with the wrong crowd accidentally. So our next tip is to schedule and spread out. You want to trickle your content out at a steady pace, not share huge bursts. If you only have a half hour in the morning to go on social media and then you're going to be, you know, busy all day, you don't want to send out a half-hour tweets and then nothing for the rest of the day. So you want to schedule and spread out your content with services such as Buffer, Hootsuite, and Sprout Social. Mari, are you still a big Hootsuite fan?
Oh, yes, I am. I use it every single day, all day, every day. I love Hootsuite.
Yeah. So we have a full range. I'm currently sporting Sprout Social, and Guy uses Buffer for most of his things. So the key for all of these is to test the service and make sure that it has all the features that you like. I actually use Buffer, Hootsuite, and Sprout Social for different things during the day. This is an example of what Buffer looks like once you're inside. And you can schedule by day. This is a weekly schedule, so Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Guy has these different times set up. So every time he uses his Chrome extension and sees a post that he likes, he can click on the Buffer Chrome extension, and it will add it into the next time slot that he has available, and then it will go to the next day. He's got his time zone set. He can set different times for the weekends. So it's very flexible in what you can do in there. And Hootsuite has many of these same features. One feature that Hootsuite has that other services don't have is that you can load a whole spreadsheet full of tweets into Hootsuite. So you can somebody can create them off social media, do a spreadsheet, someone else can approve them, you can load them all at one time. That's great when you're doing large social media campaigns. We use that a lot. and then Sprout Social I like because you can do team tweeting within that and team posting. What? You keep switching on me. That's okay.
Every time I sense you pause, I figure, oh, next slide.
Okay, sometimes I have to breathe. It's just a thing I like to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can go to the next one.
Keep calm and keep breathing.
Keep calm, breathe, and post often. You need to be consistent on social media. So being consistent and scheduling out your content helps people know that you're a page that they can use as a resource. For example, Mari on Facebook, if there's ever anything new that's happening, people know that they can go to Mari's Facebook. Most likely she has found the update, given her summation on the update, and there's a conversation going on about it. Correct, Mari?
That is true. And you know what I love to do, Peg, as well, is that I actually interpret what's happening and then kind of put it in layman's terms. And I'm always kind of looking out for the small guy, looking out for the small business people that don't really understand what's happening. So.
Right. And you did that over time. So over time, people have learned that Facebook is, you're on other social networks, of course, but Facebook is your largest area of expertise, and you love sharing things about Facebook. And people know that they can always come there to find it. And that's what your goal is when you're doing a Facebook page, is to become a Mari-like person in your area of expertise. So you need to find out what the guy, are you laughing?
No.
Okay. I am funny. You can laugh if you want.
I was breathing.
Breathing laughter. Got it.
Consciously. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So frequently posting helps build your brand, and people will turn to you for questions. So then there's some debate as to how many times you should post per network, and that depends on what you feel is right. Facebook, you definitely need to post frequently to keep your edge rank up on your page. So we recommend like 3 or 4 times a day. Mari, what are you recommending per day for a Facebook post for a page?
I have always stuck with an average of 1 to 2, and in fact, just this morning I shared on my Facebook page about is increasing your Facebook posting frequency on your page. Is that really the right way to get around lowered organic reach? And in fact, it probably isn't. In fact, it might even be more detrimental. So it just depends. In fact, it's just different arguments. If you go 1 to 2 really good quality posts a day, and you might amplify that with $5 or $10 on to promote the post. It just depends. But for me personally, I know I've kind of trained my audience. If I go over more than 2 a day, it's just too much. Of course, Guy, he's in a league of his own. I think he does like 2 an hour.
Yeah, sometimes more than 2 an hour. But here's the thing, Mari, we have never ever had complaints about too much posting. When it's if it's all great stuff, people like it, and they know from Guy they're going to get a lot of content. And there are other pages that do post frequently. So as long as you're sharing really great quality content, and your audience can take it, post more than 1 or 2. But if you have people complaining, saying, why are you posting so much, you need to kind of like take the temperature of your social networks to make sure that you're not over posting. But Guy doesn't believe in over posting. He just believes in posting a lot.
You literally train your audience. Like if Guy suddenly went to 1 post a day, his audience would be going, hey, what happened?
I know. They would wonder where he was.
Like, what happened?
Definitely. And LinkedIn is a place where a lot of people ignore it, but you should definitely be updating frequently, at least once a week, to update your profile, and then send out updates once a day if you can. And if you're curating other content for Twitter and Facebook, don't forget about LinkedIn. Schedule it to go there as well. Guy posts 3 to 4 posts per day on LinkedIn, and his LinkedIn profile is doing amazing. So people there are looking for great content. If you have great relevant content, share it. So now we are at repeating isn't a bad thing. And this post is one that Guy did. The top post, he shared a black and white photo of a black matte car, and because Guy is fascinated with matte cars. He loves them. So he takes pictures of them whenever he sees them, and people were like, that's amazing, but they wanted to see it in color because they couldn't tell, what the difference looked like. So the next post right below it is the picture in color, which you can see really only has the lights look different, which is interesting. But people asked for him to post it again. Those were 2 posts right in a row, and they both got several hundred plus ones. So technically speaking, most people, most experts would say don't post the same thing again, but Guy does it and he got, double the impact. We don't do that for every Google Plus post. That was a rarity, but if you have really important content, you can repackage it and repost it, such as, again, this webinar. You can share it with a different image, you can write your text a little bit differently and invite people again. Because assuming that people see something that you posted last week on Facebook or Google Plus, it's just not going to happen. Posts don't last that long, especially on Twitter. I think the life of a tweet these days is at 20 minutes. They say if it's not getting interaction, it's pretty much gone to the world, unless someone happens to click on your Twitter page and go back to look to see what you've tweeted. But once it's sent out for 20 minutes, that's when people are getting interaction on it. So you can definitely reshare tweets. Guy's account shares posts from Holy Cow, which is the blog that on All Top, and that tweets each blog post 4 times, spread out over 8 hours to hit all different time zones. And he's done a lot of research on that, and that works really well for his account. And now recently, a lot of people, I think this is my theory, that they were studying Guy's account to try to disprove that what he did was a good idea, but they found it was a good idea because a whole bunch of sites now are writing about how they've analyzed the same thing, including Dan Zarella did a big study on repeating your tweets, and Buffer had a big post on how repeating your content is a good idea. So you don't need to tweet exactly the same thing. You can remix your content again for Twitter a little bit differently. Send it out later, in the day or the next day. But don't share things only once that are very important, because the chances that people will not see it. So also, we cross-post our information, which means we share our content far and wide. When we have something that we want people to see, we share it on all the social networks that we're on. But we don't share exactly the same thing at the same time. So we spread it out and we format them a little bit differently. For example, on Google+, we'll do a longer form post, like the example that Guy showed with a PR post. That had a header and it had some text and some hashtags and a question. And then later in the day, we might share that on Facebook with a shorter post like Guy was talking about, with just a headline, a couple sentences in the link. And then we also retweet things from other platforms. So Guy has his Google Plus posts that tweet out. And this is an example of a Google Plus post that I did where I put the link for Pinterest on there, which has been a really big Pinterest traffic driver for me. So what I do is I format my post and I put the link to the blog post, and then I put a pin it for later link. And then people know that they can click on that and save it automatically to Pinterest. And if I forget, as Mari was saying about training your audience, if I forget to add the Pinterest link, I have people in the comments saying, where's the pin it for later link? Because it just makes it so easy for people to save it themselves. So I take the extra step with my important content to add a Pinterest link so people can make one click and then save it. So that builds my Google Plus profile, and at the same time, it's building up Pinterest repins and new Pinterest followers. So I start with what my biggest platform is, which was Twitter for a long time, and then I would share things from Google Plus onto Twitter and try to introduce my platforms. Mari has a big Twitter following. She also has a huge Facebook following. So if she's going to start on Instagram, she would want to introduce Instagram to her Twitter followers and her Facebook page so they know that Mari's on Instagram as well, with the theory being that they love Mari on Facebook and Twitter, so I'd love to see her Instagram pictures as well. So that is our theory of cross-posting.
Thank you. By the way, I am on Instagram. It's with an underscore, at Mari_Smith.
Yeah, someone else has the Mari Smith without the underscore, so don't follow that person.
Someone else has it. It's a private account, but someone has it. They won't let me have it.
It's unfortunate when that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
So our last tip is to check with an incognito page. This allows you to see what other people see when they see your social media post or your profile. And it's really easy to just go up to your browser and click on New Incognito Window. It pulls open a new window where you are not signed into any services, and then you can see things as people see them. One trick that I like to use the incognito window for is to check LinkedIn profiles, because then you're not signed in and it doesn't say that you were scamming on people's LinkedIn profiles, because otherwise people get a notification that you were there. So, how do you like to use your incognito windows?
I just like to double check when I tell people to go look at something or check out this service or whatever. I always try to check it with an incognito page, because you never know what cookie you set 6 months ago, where you're signed in, whatever. Like sometimes I want to send people to an article at, I don't know, let's say Wall Street Journal or New York Times, and I happen to have been signed in and a member, but they're not, so they're going to hit a paywall, and then they're going to get all bent out of shape and stuff like that.
Right. So that concludes our actual slides for this presentation. Oh, wait. We added slides. We have I forgot. Okay.
You added these slides.
I added these slides, by the way. We added our slides to tell what services we use, because people ask a lot. So just to make sure you can hit the right places, we talked about Buffer, Hootsuite for Mari, and I use that one too. Social Bro is a site that I like to use to find out the best times to tweet. You can get a report there, and I like to do it once a week, and then you can send that to Buffer or Hootsuite, and it will update the times that your tweets will go out automatically. I love the Tailwind app. That is a new service that I've been using for a couple months. That's Pinterest only. And TweetDeck is still, hands down, kind of the best one for down and dirty Twitter chats. That's what we think. It just works a little bit better to follow things. If you want to find great content to share, we recommend Alltop, which is a site where you can sign up and you get certain feeds on create your own Alltop page, and then every time you go there, all your favorite feeds will be set up for you. I also like Feedly, which integrates directly with Hootsuite and Sprout Social, and that, again, you set up your RSS feeds, and you can set up tabs, and they're color coordinated, and just get yourself all organized to find great content to share. Holy Cow is the blog on Alltop, and you know that you'll find awesome content 8 or 10 times a day, whether you want to or not, right, Guy?
Yep.
Or are we up to 8 or 10 times? Holy Cow has the kind of post where when people look at it, they're going to go, holy cow, that's amazing. So that's the test if things go on that blog. Guy's favorite NPR always has amazing information on a huge variety of topics. I like to use Pinterest to go into the search bar and use their guided search to find great content, as well as the related pins underneath the pin that you like. You can scroll down, tons of great information. And StumbleUpon is still a great site. If you use it and go on there, you can find really relevant, fun things. Again, that's a place where I like to kind of find the random, more fun kind of posts, not so much solid social media, but just something a little bit different. Do you want to talk about this one, Guy?
Sure. So obviously, Peg and I are Canva employees, so we want to make you a special Canva deal. So we'd like to encourage you to use Canva. Canva is an online graphics tool so that you can design really great images to use for social media, for business card, for posters, for presentations. We built much of this presentation in Canva. And this is on the screen on the left, shows you what it looks like. There's a lot of pre-done designs in that long column there that you can select from. You can then change the photo. You can search through our photo database and pay $1 each, or you can upload your own photos, or you can also connect directly to your Facebook account and get your Facebook photos there. So in about 5 minutes, you can design something very cool to use, and Peggy and I do this every day, all day. I also wrote a book with Sean Welch called Ape, Author, Publisher, Entrepreneur. Explains how to self-publish a book, and it has 851 reviews, of which 677 are 5-star, I might add. And so we're putting the two together. We would like you to try Canva, so we're asking you to go and try Canva. And as you create an image, you'll come to this page, and if you click on the Twitter bird and share, you'll be able to send out a tweet that links to your Canva design. And so we'd like you to try Canva, create a design, click on that share button, put in the hashtag CanvaConvert, CanvaConvert, and operators are standing by. They're looking for the use of that hashtag, and they're going to send you a return tweet with a link for you to get a free copy of APE. So use Canva and get a free copy of APE is what we're doing here, what we're offering.
So it's like a double whammy, because if you get APE and you read it, then you can go back into Canva, and there's Kindle book covers in there. So now you can read Guy and Sean's book, you can write a book, and then you can go back and create a cover for your book.
And I can't stand the fact that that stuff was cutting there, so I fixed it. So
there you go.
So there, now I feel better. So create a Canva design. Oh, and by the way, when you see this crosshatch with the Canva logo behind, it means that you've selected a design with a $1 stock photo. And you will not be able to use the design with that stock photo unless you pay a dollar. So we're not trying to get the dollar from you. We don't care if you use a stock photo from us, or you use your own photo, or you use no photo. We don't really care. So that's why it says no purchase necessary. Don't feel like we're trying to squeeze the buck out of you. What we want you to do is try Canva. So don't feel obligated to use one of those stock photos.
But just before you go in, just know that using Canva is like Lay's potato chips. You can't do it just once. You always go back to make more because it's so fun.
Or it's the Roach Motel. You can check in, but you'll never check out.
Well, potato chips are more appealing than cockroaches, so that's just my theory.
Okay, well, there's all kinds of niche markets. I think there are more cockroaches than people. But anyway, so This is our deal. And now we have a good 10 minutes or so for questions. So do you have any questions for us? And we'll just leave this slide up here to constantly be in your face to take us up on this promotion. So.
You are funny. You are a funny guy. Of course, people want to see your face.
Well, I would rather they do this than see my face.
You can leave it up there for a little bit, but I'll get you back on there. We tweeted it out. I just tweeted out the instructions. We are getting quite a few questions from folks just asking if they could see a little bit of a demo. I don't know if that's something you guys can do at all, or if you have a resource to share with them. And
okay, so if you want to see a demo, I assume my desktop is still being shared.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Oh, except I think we just lost Guy. Look at that.
Oh, it does look like he just bumped out. All right, I can try a demo.
You want to share your desktop?
Let me get one set up first. Let me get Canva set up.
Okay, great.
The key have it on the same thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, while Peg's getting set up there and Guy's getting back on, we are using the wonderful Google Hangout on Air technology. It's gone beautifully so far. A few questions we've been pulling both from 3 sources: Facebook, Twitter, and Google+. And Mandy's asking, Mandy Edwards at MEMKTG Services.
Hi, Mandy.
How can we get some cool Canva swag? She says.
Oh, Mandy. You can send me a Facebook note, and I'll send you, because you're the first person that asked, but I cannot send it to every person who's watching, but Mandy did ask first, so Mandy...
That was embarrassing. I closed the browser window.
That's why, but you do all the hard stuff like that guy. Okay, so Mandy, you can send me a Facebook note. Guy, do you want to do the demo, or do you want me to do it?
After you do the demo, I'm so embarrassed that I just knocked myself out.
It's okay.
Well, you didn't have to tell us. We never would have known.
You can just blame on Google.
Yeah, I should have.
No worries. Peg's she's getting set up there, and I was just taking a few questions. Let's see. Also, at Moonball was asking, do you create separate image sizes for each platform? So for each of the big 5, you have different image sizes for each post. Is that what you guys recommend?
I do that for each post, because especially if it's a blog post that I'm doing that's important, I create a Pinterest size image and I create a Facebook post, and sometimes I will just tweet one of those, but if it's really important, then I will create a special Twitter image so it looks perfect. That's why we call it the perfect post, because Guy and I take every single step. So I do make separate images. That's just how I am. If I want it to look good, I want it to look good.
Peggy is the Martha Stewart of social media. Like
it's true. I stay up all night.
I know.
What a compliment.
She'll get the radicchio and she'll get the mushroom brush and clean the mushrooms and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah.
I do have a sous chef at home, but yeah. Okay, I cannot get this to screen share on. Guy, what do I do to make sure I have the right window up?
I'm going to throw in another question here. Here's one that I can answer while you guys are doing that.
Okay.
Terry, this is on Facebook. Terry Masick says she's a big WordPress user and recently attended a talk where they said that third-party services when it comes to Facebook posts are not as visible to the Facebook audience as manually posting. What's your opinion? They said that Twitter is a better place to use third-party services and they don't control viewers. That's actually Terry and anyone else who is interested in this question, that's actually a little bit of an urban legend because Facebook actually does not penalize posts coming from a third party in the news feed. You can post directly on Facebook using their scheduler. You can use Hootsuite, Post Planner, all kinds of different wonderful apps that are out there to schedule posts or to send or automate whatever you want to do onto Facebook, and it doesn't affect the reach. So if you're finding lowering reach, generally speaking, it's you're posting too many links, not enough images or status updates, or you've got too much or too little. It's like just you got to find that sweet spot. So, how you guys doing over there?
Good.
Ready? Almost ready to do a demo? No?
Working on it.
We got more questions. Let's see.
But you're having problems screen sharing, Peggy?
No, I'm doing it now. I just remembered which thing to do.
Okay.
You got the right. I have the right thing up now. You see my Feel Better post?
Yeah, we should write a book about how to use social media.
You should, Guy. That would be so fun.
I heard that you are. I heard that
What do you want to call it? What should we call it?
Are you looking for tips?
Yes, Mari. We want tips from you, Mari.
I saw that little form. I need to fill it out for you. Here's a question from Pamela Mason. She said, I tried Canva this weekend and it's wonderful, but no preview available, ? I'd like to see it before I hit publish. Well, you can. You're constantly looking at the preview.
Yeah, that is the preview.
It's real-time live.
Yep. So I have my screen up. Can you guys see my little Feel Better post?
Yeah.
Okay, this is an example of a Facebook design. I'm going to go back to the home so you can see where I got this. So this is when you sign in, when you just go to Canva, you can log in with Facebook or your email, and these are all the designs that I've created that are in here. So if I scroll down, you can have infinite amounts of designs in here, which is amazing, and I have a lot. As you see, here's the things that Peggy works on. Some of these are live, some of them not yet. So any design that I've already created, I can go back at any time and change the text on it. So this is an example of a post that I did that was for an eco-friendly Facebook page. And so I just changed, this was actually a default Canva design that's in here, and I customized it. I changed the text, I changed what I wanted it to say. I could actually change the image on the background to make this a beach if I want. So if I want to do that, I would just click on the background and drag another photo in, and voila, I have changed it. So I could change the text on this really easily to make that a totally different post using something that I had already used that was actually quite popular. If I make a mistake, or if I just don't like what I did, I can hit undo, which is the magic button on the internet, where things automatically go back to the way you had it before. I like the undo button because I like to test things. That's the live preview that somebody was just asking about. How can you live preview? That's exactly it. So if you don't like it, you can just hit undo, and there you go. Kindle covers are a new thing that just came out last week, and our designers created a whole bunch of different designs in here that you can go in and remix any of them. You can change the title. This one's a brand new one today, as a matter of fact. So if Guy wants to write a book called The Tropical Oasis Love, you can use this exactly as is.
That's me, baby.
I know, you're all about the romance novel. Actually, people who are listening, Guy and I are thinking of taking one of these books and writing it. We just haven't decided which one.
We're gonna take the one that the most people use the cover for. We're gonna write.
Okay, so Canva, if people want to try this and use Kindle covers, the one that gets the most uses, maybe we'll write a short story. And it won't be about social media. It will be about the tropical oasis of love. So
I'll tell
anyway,
you what, it could be a bestseller.
I know they picked amazing book. All these could be real books that you see. Look at that, how gorgeous that is.
Oh,
Really
that's
great
stunning.
designs. So
Yeah.
you can just go in here and remix them. You can change the text. You could make a book series. This would be so easy to do a book series. Your cover would stay in here. You could change it a little bit. Everything could stay the same except for the title and maybe the background image. So there's so many different ways to use Canva. One way that we use it a lot at Canva that's available to everybody is sending the link to someone else so they can edit this design. So say, for example, I had this Feel Better in 60 Seconds post, and I wanted to make sure that this was what Guy wanted. I could click on it, the link, and then in this, let me make sure that one's up now. Okay, so this little link right here, I click Allow Anyone with this link to edit. I cut and paste that link, and I can email it to anyone. They will be able to open up this design and edit that design. Or I could just unclick that checkbox, and that's just a link, and somebody can preview it without making any changes. So if you want to work collaboratively, there's different ways you can work with designers. So they can create your images and they can send you a preview, or that you could actually send it to someone and they could edit the text slightly. Facebook covers are a great way to get your things out in the news feed and share a lot of great information. We have some beautiful Facebook covers in here that you can just mix in design. This one has 4 different images that you can put in. You could put your text in there, and then of course it's already done correctly, so your little Facebook photo goes over in the cover in the little corner over there. So I don't even know how many we have in here, maybe 100, maybe 100 different Facebook covers that you can remix. So there's no excuse for leaving the same boring Facebook cover up. I like to change mine like once a month or so, just because I think it gives people something new to look at. How often do you change yours, Mari? Oh, she's talking.
I'm talking to Lori. She's answering a question on Facebook.
I'm sorry. How often do you change your Facebook cover?
You know, ideally, I would love to do it once a week, but sometimes it's, I would say minimum once a month, but I'm going to ramp that up now that I've got Canva.
Yeah. So that's what I was just saying. There's no excuse for a boring Facebook cover when you can go in and remix it. You could put a new picture every weekend. You know, from the weekend, start your week fresh with a new one. Right. Is there anything that you'd like to see in here, Mari, that you want me to demo quick since I'm in?
You know, did you do the custom one? I would love to if you can just show custom, because that'd be great. Because sometimes when we're doing real, we'll do like a 1200 by 1200, and I don't think that's one of the standards.
Okay, so if I was going to do a tweet, I could put in, you can do your custom dimensions at the top, hit design.
I think what's also important to note is down on the left-hand side, it shows you the zoom. So sometimes if you've created, like there I see on your screen it's like 74 or something, so it's not real size. The view gets zoomed out, right? So that people can work on the canvas, obviously. Yeah.
Yeah. If you picked something that was big, you can change the size to preview, but you want to be able to see the whole thing most of the time when you're working on it. Yeah. So if you pick custom dimensions, then obviously there aren't little pre-formatted designs in here, but we did add grids. So you could do a grid design, and this would be something that you could just add 2 photos into.
Yeah. Yeah, why don't I just say this on camera, that we're getting questions about how to remove Canva from your picture and the Canva watermark, but that's what Guy pointed out. Just pay the dollar.
Yeah, that means that image is $1. So just change the image to something that's free. If you look at the images, they say free on them, or if you hover over it and it says $1, those are pictures that are $1.
And is it really easy to pay them? I haven't bought a paid image yet on Canva.
Yeah, it's really easy. You just do your debit card. You know, if you're doing it for your first one, it takes you a minute to set it up, but that's it. But you don't need to do a paid one to do this. So just change your image to a free image for the purposes of this. So if you're in a layout, you can just drag and drop a photo in, and then drag and drop another photo in. That's an example of using a grid with a custom design, and then you can just add text over it.
Actually, here's a good question, Peg, that's very valid to what you're doing right now. Sherry Martin is asking if I upload a photo that she shot, will Canva automatically resize it proportionately to fit the template?
If you use these grids, when you put it in, it will resize it to fit into that grid. But when you click on it, you can move them, and it depends on if you're using frames or grids or a blank template. So there's different ways that you use photos. If you're adding it in as a background, it will fill it in the whole background. If you use grids, it will size it. Like this one has two little windows. Or there's another thing that's called frames, and that also, I can show you one of those quickly. That allows you to add an image over a background. So, for example, let me find one. I don't use frames that much, but the one that we did for the webinar that had our little photos in there, that one I did frames, and all of our photo sizes were differently, but it fit them in the frames automatically. This one's an example of a frame. So where the taxi cab is and the signs, those are frames. So that image is something that I can change.
And then what I found is if it only puts a portion, if you double click in the center of the image or on the image, then you get the full size, and you can
move it around.
Then you can drag it and move it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Yay.
And then when you like it, you just click the checkbox, and there you go. But that changes just the image in the frame instead of the whole background. So there's different ways to use images. That's just the ones that I use the most are background and in frames.
Beautiful. So you guys actually have, I know that probably Canva has tutorials. Is there any videos you guys recommend, or is there, I mean, I know it's pretty intuitive, but I do know there's some advanced features, or there's some really great ways that people can use Canva. You got any suggestions of what people should do if they're a little bit stuck? Or
we have an amazing YouTube channel that has tons of tutorials, as well as having tutorials on our website. And we do have great customer support. If you ever get stuck, we can help you that way too.
And we have
So if you want to just learn more things, definitely sign up for the email newsletter. And every week we send out a new tutorial, which is really fun. So you can learn how to center your text or format your text.
Great, awesome. And Guy, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say that we have a monthly.
I don't even know where he is.
A weekly.
I can't get my screen share off, and Guy is gone.
We have a.
He's back. No, he's back.
No, I'm here. Oh, we have that weekly email letter that many people find very useful. It's a little tutorial.
Can you hear him?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here.
I can hear him. He dropped out for a moment. He's back. Go ahead, Guy.
I was just saying that we strongly encourage people to sign up for that email newsletter. You get a lot of tips every week.
Awesome, awesome. And I got to give props to your blog. Is it Zach? He's an amazing writer, and I just love the layout, the clean white space, and obviously peppered with lots of wonderful visuals. So yeah, your Canva blog is filled with really good stuff. Well, we have come to the top of our hour. I see we've got a few more questions, and I'm going to go ahead and see if I can answer them on Twitter or wherever they've come in from. This has been awesome, folks. We had a really, really great response. We actually had over 5,000 people have registered for the webinar, so we will be sending out the replay to everybody. Also, I have my whole team here. I've got Lori and Hillary in the house. Say hi, folks.
Hey.
Hi. They're capturing all your questions, folks. So we will do our best to respond to any that we haven't gotten to today. And of course, you can always tweet to @Guy Kawasaki and/or @Peg Fitzpatrick. You can go. What do you guys suggest for questions? Should they go onto the Canva page or?
We're on Facebook, Google+, and Twitter. So wherever you like to hit us up, we're there. So we're on Instagram too.
@Canva on Twitter, and then facebook.com/Canva. And folks, please don't forget what this wonderful offer that Guy made to you is that go ahead and do your first design on Canva or your umpteenth design, whatever it is. You don't have to be a new user. And all you do is you tweet that, okay? You can tweet it out. There's a little Twitter button that you can click on once you've created the design that you like. And all you do is append the hashtag CanvaConvert, okay? Hashtag CanvaConvert. Of course, no spaces, you know that. And Guy will actually arrange to send you a free copy of his book, Ape.
How can you beat that?
You can't beat it. It's a killer offer. It's an amazing offer. It's very generous. And folks watching on Facebook, I have just made just a little bit of an invitation for folks who are wanting to know a little bit more about Facebook. My next Facebook course will be launching in early July, and I'm actually going way back to basics. We're going to be really digging in how to absolutely optimize your profile, followers, groups. We will be talking a little bit about pages as well. But to get on the no obligation early bird notification list, there's nothing to sign up for or pay or anything. Just let us know that you might be interested in my next course. Click that FB course early bird green button on the Facebook, those of you watching on Facebook. If you're not watching on Facebook, you can just go to 22s for social.com/Mari Smith. That's 22s.com/Mari Smith. Okie dokie. Thank you so much, both Guy and Peggy. You guys are rock stars. It's a joy to team up with you, and I am a Canva convert. Hashtag.
Yay!
and don't forget our emails. I'm Guy at Canva. And Peg.
Thank you so much for having us, Mari.
Yes.
Oh, my pleasure. I think Peg still can't hear you, Guy. That's funny. Go ahead, Guy.
So I was just saying, Peg is Peg at Canva.com, and I'm Guy at Canva.com if you need to get in touch with us. And we'll be watching for your tweets to send you your book.
Beautiful. Awesome. So that's Guy at Canva.com and Peg at Canva.com. You can always email them if you've got questions. I hope you got value today, folks. We appreciate you more than you know. We'll see you on all the social sites. Take good care. Enjoy the rest of the day. Much love. Bye for now.